So big welcome to everyone. We're going to start our session. Hello, I'm an author. Ask me anything. This is our episode number 2. Okay, so I don't know if you have been counting. 24 days of our circuit breaker has passed. So first and foremost, I hope that everyone is coping very well at home. Today with me, our guest author is none other than Ernest Tan.
Hi everyone, good
Ernest
evening.
is Ernest is the author of Raising Financially Savvy Kids. And our topic today is, of course, on financial parenting in the times of crisis, right? In fact, this idea for the AMA series came from Ernest himself 2 weeks ago. He was sharing with me a Facebook live session that he saw, and there were 2 people talking. So I was quite curious, and I went to find out further, and I realized that actually Zoom can cast to Facebook Live. Of course, today that is not working. So with technology, not very trustworthy. In episode 1, it managed to work. So in episode 2, it didn't really work. But nonetheless, I'm very happy that you all are here with us in this Zoom room. All right. So let me see. Basically, the AMA series is for us to invite our guest authors who are all experts in their own area of expertise. So the whole idea is to invite them to share their expertise with all of you and their knowledge with all of you. And basically, we hope to add value to your life in this very challenging time. Okay. So before we start, if you have, I will encourage you to open up your chat box on Zoom, okay, so that you can actually start posting any questions you have to Ernest on the topic of financial parenting in the times of crisis. Okay. Won't be able to share. We are not on Facebook Live, but nonetheless, I'm recording this session so that after today's live session, I'll be able to post it on Facebook. And appreciate if you see it, then help to share to your friends so they can all learn together from today's content. All right. Likes will also encourage us a lot. Okay. And very important, today we have a lucky draw. Okay. Ernest is very, very kind. He has sponsored 3 sets of the Money Junior board game, right? You can see on the share screen. This is basically, each of these sets is worth $108. And this is a game that is developed by Ernest himself. And he has played it with many times with groups of children. So this will be given away to some of you who are going to post questions in the chat box. And then we'll have a lucky draw, and 3 of you will walk away with the prize. Okay. So without further ado, I'm going to start introducing Ernest, who's our guest author for today. He's the author of Raising Financially Savvy Kids. That's the book on the screen. If you find him familiar, he was actually on a full page right up in Sunday Times. I forgot which year already. All right. So Ernest has 24 years of experience as a certified financial planner, master money coach, a wealth trainer, a facilitator, and an author, and the author of Raising Financially Savvy Kids. He has been awarded the top 10 finalists for the Financial Planner Award in 2018. His powerful and easy to use financial strategies and programs have helped thousands of families acquire new financial and wealth habits to materialize their financial dreams, regardless of their financial situation. So in fact, even though right now we are in lockdown, Ernest has still been very, very active, conducting webinars for parents, both in Singapore and in Malaysia. Right. So, Ernest, do you have anything to say?
No, welcome.
Great. Are you ready for your first question?
Shoot.
Okay.
Like what I say, you can ask me anything. I try my best to answer.
All right. First question comes from Gazelle. Thank you, Gazelle, for posting us the first question. All right. And her question is how to train a child who has yet to know how to count to be a good money master?
Thank you, Gazelle, for the question. Before the kid can count, the kids already understand how to spend parents' money. And the first money lesson, I always say, is they learn how to spend. And parents, the way the kids learn is by observing you. So you don't have to physically teach, but they learn by observing every single action that you deal with your money. And like what I always share in my class and always prove to the parents always say, Ernest, it can't be. As young as 2 years old, 3 years old, you mean I'm teaching my kid to spend money? How? I don't usually give the money to my kid and say, hey, this is the money, go and spend. Obviously not. Parents, you don't do that, isn't it? But the very fact they learn the first money lesson from you as young as 2 to 3 years old is the fact that you bring them to buy grocery. You demonstrate to them physically how to spend money. And that's why all of us are so good at spending money. Especially we enjoy most by spending other people's money. And that's why in the last 24 years in my experience as a financial practitioner, the hardest subject to teach is investment in the financial, but the easiest and not need to be taught at all is spending. And every one of you are so good at it. And to be rich, I always say, look, it's not how much you earn, it's how much you keep. In order to keep, you got to spend less. But the fact that everybody enjoys spending, and they hate me if I tell them to cut their spending. Yeah, and that's why I develop in some other things to teach, to make sure that I'm always at peace with you all, parents. I don't want to be, when you all see me on the street, I don't want you all to throw stone at me. Hope answer the question, Gazelle.
Yes, indeed. So obviously, one of the first thing we learn, even when we don't know how to count, we don't even know how to talk, we've already learned. And that's why parents are such important role model. They are watching every single move of us.
Yeah.
All right. We have another question from Pui. Thank you, Pui. Before that, to the rest of our participants, please feel free to post your questions right now. Just a reminder, 3 of you will walk away in a lucky draw at the end of the session because Ernest has kindly sponsored 3 money junior board game, and each of these is worth $108. All right, give me a minute. Okay, I'm admitting someone again. Okay, so Ernest, the question comes from Kui. Kui is asking, parents always think their kids are too young to be exposed to money lessons. How do we deal with this misconception?
Well, parents always think so, right? Too young to expose, right, to money lesson. But the fact is that we are already exposing them, whether you like it or not. In our daily life, they are being exposed to money, and either you like it or not, consciously or unconsciously, we are already teaching them. And the way that we are teaching them is that we are role modeling it right in front of them. So the question is that, are you teaching the right concept or the wrong concept? The very fact is that if you have this type of question, parents, that you think it's too early to start exposing, then my question is that you already did the job. And it's best that you do it correctly so that, kids, just like you and me, don't have to go through that painful process, all right, to unlearn and relearn again. All right, I myself went through that process. At 36, I'm still a broke. And I had to meet a lot of, right mentors and to change those money habitudes. So I wish I was taught all this when I was younger. So the earlier, the better. All right, so that kids get money lesson as young as they can, rather than wait till they're in their teens. It's even harder for you to change them. All right. So like I always use this analogy to share as a gardener of a bonsai, So it's easy for you to tweak that plant to form the shape that you want. When the The plant is still very young, tender, so you can twist it and turn it to the shape you want. But if you let it grow wild, and by the time the plant get a little bit more mature, the stem get a little bit tougher, and you try to turn and try to twist it, it will break, and that's gone. So when kids are, if you think it's too young to expose them to money, by the time they are teens, parents, it's even harder for you. The problem that I'm facing with even my work in Malaysia with my partner, Little Tauke, is that we always face a problem that getting teens into the class. Many parents at that time, when their kids become teens, they realize the importance of teens need to be taught about money. And this parent couldn't control them, they couldn't teach them, and they want them to take the class. And some of these teens come to the class, the first day, they was like, no energy. So when we ask them, why are you here? You give me the sort of body language that you're not interested, you're tired, that you're being put to the class, So then I say, why you are here? What are you expecting from this class? They say, no, I didn't want to come. My parents forced me to come. Yeah. So parents face that issue when they,
So Ernest,
yes.
Pri has a follow-up question.
Yes.
So I think the follow-up question is that her question is really how can parents start teaching the kids about money? Because her worry is that when we expose our kids to money at a very young age, then become Louis Bin, very money-faced and money-minded. How?
Well, if you start talking to them with the right concept, the right strategy, and the way that we teach, we don't just teach just saving and just purely saving and saving, then you become stingy, We teach the concept of saving, spending, and sharing so that it can become a holistic approach rather than just one-sided. Then you become very money-minded, which is not healthy at all for the kids. So in all our teaching, we want to have the balanced approach. So even though you have that three concept about saving, spending, and sharing, then we talk about a different percentage. When money can come to the kid's life in many forms, in allowance, in birthday gift, can be even Christmas gift, So grandparent giving. So when all this money comes in, there are different strategy behind it to apply when to teach them about the value of money. Yeah, allowance, I will expect different percentage for different things, So with that, parents need to be proactive. So when you see your child gearing towards that part where they begin to hoard money, just like I've seen a few cases when people play that Money Junior board game, then we see the kids are holding those board game money very, very tight. Then there is already a signal that, hey, parents, this case, what is it that is holding this up? What is their daily, dealing with money? From then you may have to counsel parents, you may have to start off a different approach. On the other hand, if the kids are always spending money, then there's another approach to use. All right. But you keep on saving, also no use. So that's where you got to apply the whole holistic approach to teach, so that kids won't end up lopsided, then become very money-faced, they become very stingy, that sort of thing. We don't want that to happen, right? Thanks for that question, Pui.
Yeah, Ernest, I also remember I learned from you. I mean, money management itself is not just about savings.
Yeah.
Even from young, we talk about saving, we talk about sharing. How can we teach our young ones to share? And of course, spending, don't need really to teach that, but they do need to learn how to manage their expenses, learn things like
Yes.
this. So I think a holistic money management education is key to our kids. Otherwise, if it's just saving, it's always going to be money face.
Yeah.
So talking about spending, Xuein has a question here. Her question is, my kid keep asking me for money for her to use in her computer games. What advice do you give? And my kid is in primary school now.
Who is asking that question?
Share in.
Oh, okay, okay. I like to use this analogy, okay? Okay, to whichever the person asking this question, all right, share is it, all right? Simple. Oh. If today you go back to your employer and say, look, I need this money. Can you give me this money to, buy this, buy that, Would you think your employer will give it to you? Not likely, right? They will ask you for what, right? If it's work related, maybe. If it's all within the budget, maybe I will approve it. If not, no. So if children keep on asking for this, then how to solve this problem? Same problem, like what I said earlier. Kids love to use other people's money. They enjoy spending parents' money. And it's as good as kids today start going to the grocery store and they always say, Daddy, Mommy, I want this, I want that. And if you don't buy, they make a fuss in the shopping mall. And the same situation here they are asking you to have money to buy the computer games. And there's no end to it, right? So how to solve this problem? Simple. Give them an allowance, okay, so that they manage from the allowance. Okay, so whatever money that you want to buy the computer game, it must come from your share jar. I use the share jar principle. So when kids start to say, oh, I got to use the money for my save jar, now it's become my money, they are not going to use it. Or the other way around is that, okay, darling, you can buy whatever. I can advance to you first. Then later on, when I reach home or whatever, I'm going to empty from your save jar. Chances are very high, they will say, don't touch my money. Suddenly they begin to, oh, it becomes valuable. Money is important now. No. Okay, so parents, as you give those allowance, just I like to quote, little Tauke, but boss says, like, when you want to teach money, you got to give them money. You want to teach a kids to ride bicycle, you got to give them a bicycle, right? If you don't give a bicycle, how you teach a kid to ride bicycle? Same thing, you want to teach kids about money, start giving them an allowance. So when you give them an allowance, that is where you want to start making those small agreements with that child. This portion of the money, the allowance given is divided in 3 portions, save, spend, share. Percentage where how much go to this, how much go to that. All right. So your saving jar is meant for what purpose? Okay. The save jar is meant for what purpose? All this we taught them in our webinar, the Big Bag Wolf and the Money Master Junior class lately that we are conducting it. So parents find it very useful. So Suchin, yeah, if you think that this is area like that, I encourage you to come forward to enroll in our class and watch how your child get transformed. Guaranteed. Just that one session, you will see your child start changing their attitude towards it.
Yeah, Ernest, I like what you say about if you want to teach the kid money, you need to give them money. And with this money that they have, it is really about the ownership mindset. And once they start to own this money, they have to be responsible for it, and they will actually guard it very closely. If it's just the parents' money, it is often a bottomless pit because they ask, "Hey, how come have again?" They ask, "Hey, have again." There's actually no pain in it.
Yeah.
So this concept of
the line is lagging.
Okay, before Michelle's questions, for those that okay, yep. For those that have just joined us, if you have any questions to ask our guest author, Ernest Tan, author of Financially Savvy Kids, you can post your question in the Zoom chat box. Okay. A reminder: there will be lucky draw at the end of this session, where we'll be drawing 3 lucky draw prizes to our participants who post question to Ernest. And the lucky draw today is kindly sponsored by Ernest. It is actually a Money Junior board game, which is worth $108. Okay, So I strongly encourage you to post your question. Not only you get to learn, you may get to walk away with the lucky draw prize. Okay, so I'll move on to Michelle Lim. Michelle asks, as the parents of teens, how do we teach teens to have a healthy relationship with and attitude towards money? And what do you consider to be a healthy attitude? Over to you, Ernest.
Well, parents, teens really look forward, parents to have really good money management. Yeah, because from our experience, we start teaching kids about money, even those parents, learn through classes, day in, day out, they teach kids the same old money lessons. They've forgotten that your kids are growing up each day, each year. So by the time kids become teens, they still treat them like kids. So by then, kids will think that whatever you are saying, that mom, dad, don't need to say, I know what you're going to say. Because you repeat the same old thing. Boy, save less, spend less, must save for future, must save for rainy day. Those are the same common phrases. If you're not tired, if I'm your teens, I'm also tired. I will say, no, I'm not going to listen, and I'm going to walk away. And when they start walking away and turning away, they're going to turn to who? They're going to turn to your friends. And they're going to turn to the world. They're going to turn to the social media to learn about money. And guess these people are not going to teach what you like to see. All right. So parents, in order for you, all right, for your teens to model, parent, you yourself got to be first a good money master. Yeah. So parents, we were all not taught in school. I'm not blaming you. I was like you. I was a parent of 3 kids and now I'm a grandfather. No one taught us about money. You are not to be blamed, all right? The fact is, we all don't know and we can't teach what we don't know. But after today, parents, you have the opportunity, all right, to sign up some courses that myself and my little tauke in Malaysia has it, all right, so that you yourself want to equip yourself with better knowledge on money savingness so that your kids, your teens can look towards you as an example. They respect you rather than every day in, day out talk about the same thing. There are more than that to talk about money in the family. Like what I was in the TV, and the DJ asked me this question that's on audience post, they always say that when you start talking about money, it hurt the relationship. Yeah, but how come you always come to our radio channel and you talk about money, it don't seem to hurt the relationship? How can we start talking about money that doesn't hurt relationship? In Chinese say 讲钱伤感情啊，对不对？ In what way then it will not hurt? So my answer is simple. The only time that when you start talking about money that it hurts is when you speak the money, when there's money issue to be resolved. And when the tension, the tones are all different, then it will hurt the relationship. But in normal time, in good time, I want you all to start having the money conversation so that everybody are aligned and they understand, hey, we are always having this kind of conversation. It may be sound harsh a little bit, but it's always in the manner in the home. Then understanding all these are there, so it will not hurt the relationship. So parents, I want you to upgrade yourself. Do you parents, do you want to be financially free also? Do you want to achieve financial success? Yeah. So if you have that goal and you don't know how to reach it, you are still struggling for it, go out there. There are many, courses, workshops, go and attend it. All right. If today, because of these circuit breakers and then we are all locked down in the family, we can't go anywhere, and you have some pocket time, do tune into our webinar. With our webinar, I do have a program called Financial Parenting Workshop. We used to ask you all to come and attend physically, face-to-face, and I got to pay a lot for the venue cost. And today, because of these circuit breakers, we have converted 70% of our curriculum, to webinar, except those physical activities that we run the workshop, we can't do into a webinar. But the contents are all there that to equip you parents so that your kids can look towards you as role model. They know that you have something behind the sleeve, that there's something more they can learn from you. Okay, so hopefully that will up your standard a little bit, that your children say, daddy, mommy, actually all the while got something. Even myself, up to today, I'm financially free, I'm an author and all this, I'm still learning anything really. Even this COVID-19, the crisis itself, I'm learning what is that opportunity I can learn that I can pick it up from. Yeah. So I hope to answer that question, Michelle.
Thanks, Ernest. I like the point you brought up about having healthy conversation with our kids about money. So the topic of money shouldn't be a taboo subject where you try to avoid even mentioning about it for the fear of whatever fear you have. Maybe scared that your kids become money-minded. Money surrounds us. We can't walk away from money. And it is something that we really need to talk in the family. That actually leads me to another question that Pui asked, interestingly. She asked, why do you call today's discussion as financial parenting in crisis? Are we parents in crisis? So let me take this question. So when we started this AMA series, it's really to add value to our viewers' life. Because in the current crisis, many things are happening. Many disruptions are happening. If you have been reading the newspaper headline, MAS has already projected that our recession is going to be the worst in recent memory. We are going into negative 3.5 to 4% recession. All right. Retrenchment is on the rise. Parents are losing jobs. These are all coming and it's real. For viewers, can I appreciate if you all could mute yourself so that there's no disruption? Can you mute yourself? Yeah, so it's in times like this, family incomes are all affected, jobs are affected, and that's why the topic of money is actually very, very important right now. And we do need to help our kids to understand, okay? So that leads me to the next question that I personally want to...
Kok Hua,
yeah.
Let me add to that, to your answers. Is it okay, Kok Hua?
Yeah, sure.
Parents, our
Go
parents
ahead,
in crisis right now? Soon. All right. And even they already got parents asking questions like, now that we are all in the circuit breakers, okay, and should I continue to give kids the allowance? Yeah. So my answer is simple. Are you still getting your salary? If you are still getting your salary, affordability is there, continue. But reverse the agreement, because kids now don't go to school, so they don't use to spend the money on food, right? So now I have to reverse a percentage. Yeah. So yes, parents take this as a crisis, because in this crisis, kids need to learn, especially the teens. They need to know that this is a crisis that we are going through, and what can we learn out of it? Is there an opportunity? Even right now, I'm teaching 2 kids, seizing opportunity in this to grow your money. Yeah. So crisis doesn't mean that it must be very bad crisis, but I'm seizing the opportunity. And these 2 kids, I can't meet them, but through webinar, they are much smarter than me. And from there, they say, hey, how can we get started? So we talk about investments. So earlier to the Michelle question is, kids love investment. They love to have more money, especially don't need to work one. If every now and then money come like that one, wow, they love it. So you got to start teaching them, actually I know of a way to get you passive income. Then they love to listen. Of course, I'm not going to give them all one straight. So I hide it, become mysterious, bit by bit release. That's why these kids follow me all these years. They're teens, not really kids, they're teens. They are like 17, 18 years old already. So bit by bit, you feed them. Keep them curious, keep them a little bit excited, keep them on the toe. When they behave, when you manage your money well, you got the extra money, then I'll teach you more. So that become that carrot and stick issue. Yeah. So I hope I add that to help you all. Back to you, Go.
Ernest. Yeah, so just to just to build on to what you have mentioned. So, so in a scenario where if the salary has been affected, right, which means family income has been affected, and this could be many reasons. You could be put on no pay leave, which means no pay, or half pay, or even lose your job. So in such a scenario, what and how should we for kids? Do we avoid it or do we tell them the truth? Can you share your opinion with us?
Don't wait until that time comes. Even as you watch the news today, okay, when the news to begin to announce says, hey, the number of people lost job, there are people who are going to get pay cut, this and that. Use this opportunity to teach your kids and says, look, it may happen to daddy, it may happen to mommy. If that situation happen, darling, we may even have to cut your allowance. And most important thing, I always tell parents, all right, hello, is it okay for you to teach a little bit more than just money? The allowance that children that you are getting, that Papa, Mama are giving to you, is actually a privilege, not an entitlement. The salary that you are able to draw from your employer is a privilege, not an entitlement. I know some of the parents here don't agree with me, but I choose to have the mindset that this is a privilege. So in the event I lose it, I got it reduced, I won't feel so bad. I got a healthy mentality towards money. Yeah? Then take those situations to teach the kids. Talk to them. When you see this happen, talk to them. Because every 10 years, then such situations, bad situations, so serious happen. By then, your kids will be something like, they also started your own family. Your teens become starting up your family already. Then you may have missed those teachable moments to let them have the opportunity to learn from you. So crises like this, there are plenty of learning points that you can talk about it. Okay, parents? Back to you.
Thank you, Ernest. Yep. So a quick reminder, due to technical difficulty, just now we started at 8:10. So actually half an hour has passed. The time is 8:40. Ernest, does your time permit for us to take 2 more questions?
Sure. As many as people come, I don't mind. If you're not tired, call my publisher. I'm happy,
you know. Whole night, yeah?
Yeah.
I got a Zoom meeting at 9.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we'll take 2 more questions. So a quick reminder to those who have just joined us, if you have any questions to ask Ernest on the topic of financial parenting in times of crisis, please post your question in the chat box. We have time for 2 more questions. And the good news is, at the end of this segment, 3 lucky viewers is going to walk away with a set of Money Junior board game, which is worth $108. And this is kindly sponsored by Ernest Tan. All right. So only those who post question will be eligible for the lucky draw. We'll contact you separately after today's show. Okay. Next question came from Hui Chin. All right. Hui Chin is asking, so it's a related point to earlier as well. Is there any difference in the money concept we teach young kids versus teens? Especially for those teens who never been exposed to money lessons when they were young.
Of course.
So in short, is it too late, Ernest?
Late, it's not too late, it's better than never. Yeah. So obviously there must be differences. Okay. By the time they are teens, though, even you think that they don't know those money lessons that they were supposed to be taught, all right. Question is that they could have already learned it in some other ways. But they are looking forward to learn more valuable money lessons. Like I say, kids, we can't teach kids about investment, am I right? Too young, they may not understand. They get bored about it. But when they become teens, they want to hear something like that. How can I make quick money? How can I get money without working? So definitely different. And kids, you can still play board game or this. Teens, no, they don't. Right? You can still, your kids, you can use small little reward to entice them, But when it comes to teens, difficult. Yeah. So you really, for teens, in order to teach them, I always say, you got to get close, you got to be like your friends, then they will, when you talk to them, they will listen. If not, I think they rebel. And if you try to use money to control them, to teach them money lessons, and these kids may just rebel and say, no, I don't need your money. I'm going to start working myself. And the moment they start working them by themselves, they have their own money, and they say, look, why you care so much? This money is I earn one, Why must you have a say? Huh? What I earn is what I spend. I'm not spending on your money now. So parents, you will have a hard time. I hope you don't have to come to that situation. But if your teens are already in that, you're already like that already, sorry, Ernest, I didn't meet you earlier. I didn't get to hear this type of thing before. Now it's our teens. What can we do? Well, start sending them to some webinar classes where we do soft approach. Yeah. Sometimes you got to drag them. In little Tauke class that we do in Malaysia, the first day is always like dragging a cow to the class. But after the first day, the children drag the parents to the class. They wake up early, like 6 a.m. and say, Daddy, Mommy, I'm ready to go to the class. The first day is different, They are late and not early. They don't show, motivation, encouragement, or anything. No spirit. The body is there, the soul and the spirit is not there. Basically, what I'm saying the first day. The second day is the other way around. And that's what the feedback that we're getting from the parents. So yes, different. Topic teach is different. That's why the activities that we use are also different. So that teens stay on. Yeah, and parents, you got to be proactive when it comes to teaching kids about money. When kids level, they got to make it fun, make it entertaining, all right, make it visual. When it comes to teens, different. You got to be your friends. You got to find out what they're thinking, and then slowly become a coach to them. Yeah. Back to you, Kok Hua.
Thank you, Ernest. Okay, one last question before we end tonight's session. This question comes from Michelle. Yep. My apologies, first of all, that we can't respond to all your questions due to time constraint. So the last question is coming from Michelle, who asks, swinging to the other extreme, how do we support teens or stroke young children who are extreme savers? Teach them how not to have a poverty mentality, a feeling that money is not enough all the time, and hence they are very wary of spending their money. This could be after an episode of experiencing hardship in family. They might develop this kind of habits.
Yes, because why family had that financial hardship? Because that family don't have management of money. So for kids to solve this thing, you normally use, like what I say, you make it creative. I will use the money jar system. 3 of them. Save, spend, share. So that money are all allocated for its purpose. Yeah? So kids knows there are certain money being apportioned to saving, there are certain portion being apportioned to spending. There also another portion for giving. So once you have signed all this money, then kids know, and they don't hoard the money. They know this money this portion is for what purpose, is for what purpose. So in that way, the kids grow healthily, knowing that different portion of the money is for different purpose. Because they don't have to live in the fear that, hey, money may not come, may not be enough, You manage it, you budget it, so-called in the financial world. Yeah. So to answer another questions, was it Shu Ying? They say, when's the next workshop available during the second? Okay, the next one is coming out is on the 9th of May. You can check it out more detail.
I'll be sharing the next slide.
Oh, you'll be sharing your next slide. Okay, I leave that to you for Shu Ying because I felt that in order to say this, you can talk about this. We talk about a lot more in the jar. Okay, back to you, Kok Hua then.
Ken, so just nice. Shu Ying was asking this question, so I'm going to do a share screen now. Okay, so for those who are interested, you can take a look. This is a webinar called The Big Bad Wolf. there's a URL, and there's a QR code. If you have your phone, you can scan on it as well. So this is the workshop that is happening on the 9th of May. Go to the link and you will find out more details. I thought this is a good opportunity since all the kids are cooped up at home. Most of the webinars right now are meant for adults. Quite rare to find webinars for kids. So if you're interested, please get more details there. All right. For those who are interested to get in touch with Ernest, this slide shows all his contact detail. He is so nice to even review his handphone number. Okay, so his handphone number, his website, his Facebook page, and his email is all here. Snap a picture if you can. Get in touch with him if he can be of help to any of you. All right. Announcement, next week, episode 3, we're inviting Terence Chiu, who is the author of Most Valuable Professional. And the topic is on becoming a valuable professional in times of crisis. So as we are talking just now about parents in crisis, this may become a reality as our economy continues to plummet. Jobs is going to be lost, retrenchment is going to be on the rise. So this, our interview with Terence is going to share with us what are some of the things that we can do to become valuable in times like this. All right. So yeah, that comes to the end of our session. I would like to thank Ernest for spending your time with all of us, sharing with us your very, very precious knowledge, experience, and insights on the area of financial parenting. I'm sure many of us have a lot more to learn from you. So viewers, please feel free to reach out to Ernest. All right. So before we end, due to the technical difficulty, this whole segment is not on Facebook Live, but I've recorded on Zoom. So I'm sharing it on Candid Creation Publishing Facebook page once it's ready. I appreciate if you all could just, if you like what we've been hearing, please share. You can also like the video and you can also add comments. All right. So thank you very much. After tonight, we'll be doing the lucky draw. Then I'll contact you all individually. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Kohoa, for organizing. Thank you, parents, for showing up. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Ernest, you have